Hello, good evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to my next interview series guest. If you're joining us for the first time, my name's Dara Forleo. I own the Whole Pet Grooming Academy, and I am going back and interviewing some past graduate students and some current enrollees that are almost to the graduation stage. So, and they are in some of our new programs that we just have launched in the last year, and wanted to kind of get a little feel for what they're doing and what's going on. Tonight, I am joined by Caitlin Bright, and actually, I know Caitlin just through the Groomer Network connection in New England. And we've done some other seminars together and some other meetings together. But this one is like the first time that you've kind of jumped in on the school you're in the Master, let me get it right, the Master Groomer Behavior Specialist diploma.
Correct. Yes.
So what intrigued you about this? This program is written by Chrissy Newmeyer-Smith. So anyone who knows or has heard of Chrissy or watched her podcast, this is all of her class. Do you kind of know Chrissy, or I think you guys have a lot in common from what I'm hearing?
I know Chrissy the same way I know you, just from sort of the local groomer network. I have geeked out with her about dog behavior, at conferences. So I started in a corporate shop, then I went to a small shop. After that, I began doing house call, and now I'm mobile.
That's why I thought, because
right. When I started my own business, I started as house call.
Yeah.
And the reason I went house call and then mobile is that the kind of dogs I love to work with are older dogs, sometimes dogs with dementia, now dogs who have some physical disabilities, or dogs that have behavioral issues. Like I do well with them. I love them. But that means that I'm thinking about behavioral issues all the time with dogs and how I can get them to be calmer and more comfortable, and how I can make grooming to be a better experience for them, because if it's better for them, it's better for me. Like it's a wonderful way to work.
Yeah.
So this program seemed like it was just tailor fit for what I like to do.
Sorry.
That was very exciting.
Yeah. So let's see. And so you jumped in, you're in the third level now, which is the third, coming up to the final class. Have you been able to utilize and the knowledge that you've gained? How has that been? How have you, be honest?
No, I think it really, I feel like I'm using bits of it at least all the time. I don't have any kind of a training background.
Okay.
And Christy, of course, is a several times over certified dog trainer. So she's brought a lot of training into the behavioral piece. And that is a totally different way of thinking.
Yeah.
And gives me a whole different set of tools that I can use. So even just like having a dog, who's great for everything except their nails. And that's all of us. We all have them in like 100 dogs like that.
Yeah.
But like writing up a training plan and working my way through different things that I know will work. Because would I try to do that casually? Sure. Would I remembered what I'd done if I hadn't taken perfect notes? No.
Yeah.
But the approach where you have like sort of a list of things to work through in a very systematic way, and what you've done and how you're doing it, has been really useful.
So you're really now looking at it, not only are you taking, so to speak, grooming notes, but you're taking behavior.
Yes.
Prevention, is that the right way to say it? Behavior prevention notes?
I mean, I like to think of it as improvement.
Journey. Okay.
We're both trying to work to this being a better way. Because you think, oh, it's an older dog, I won't groom it all that long. But if you have an 8 or a 9-year-old dog that you pick up who has behavior issues, and you groom it for, I don't know, every 4 weeks, every 5, that's a lot of grooms you've got ahead of you.
Yeah.
And if you can make this be a low stress easier situation, then every time you groom with them, it's going to be easier for you. But also, as maybe their health declines or they develop more physical issues, it's still going to be easier because they already have a relationship with you, they trust you, and that's,
Yeah.
I mean, we don't get into this because we're trying to drive dogs crazy. We get into this because we love dogs. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
So that's really cool. You've done this and you've done a lot of training outside and then jumped into this program. What do you think you might be, where do you think you go with this?
You mean after this program?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I really am loving it. As I said, I had no introduction to training, so that's been a hoot. But I do think, I mean, it is going to change the way I work.
Yeah.
And it gives me more confidence to take on dogs. Like I'm older than I would like to admit to, and so I'm not taking 75-pound German shepherds who are way too wiggly anymore. But yeah, it does. It just makes me a lot more comfortable and prepared to deal with a lot of dogs that I can help that maybe I wouldn't have been able to help before. Am I going to become a dog trainer tomorrow? No. I like
No, that is a part of it.
Yeah.
That's a different
Yeah.
go, but
Yeah. But I love grooming dogs. It's
yeah. And so you do
obviously.
find you get these clients that seek you out based, do you advertise?
Basically no, because I'm so close. I try to leave enough space now that if a current client gets an additional dog, that I can take them in, or I take vet referrals. I have one vet, she does palliative care, like house call palliative care. So I always groom all of her clients. If she needs me to, I'm happy to. But so I try to leave enough space for that kind of thing, but I'm basically full. I just, if
I
it's a
guess
vet referral, I try to make a hole for them,
Yeah, I guess I kind of meant like, do you advertise? Do people just find you based on, oh, we've heard this is what Caitlin specializes in, and how did you get it? I mean, what draws you to that?
Well,
That's really tough what you do.
yeah, I'm a fear-free certified groomer, which is Dr. Marty Becker's
Yep.
program. And he, as part of that, there's a network. You can just look up and see where there's fear-free certified veterinarians or groomers or trainers in your area. So I do get a lot of calls from that because I'm the only one in 30 miles or wherever. And that
We
includes all
are
of Boston.
as well at the school, so
Right. I think you're just a little too far north.
Yeah.
But so that I do get a lot of that, but also just local vets. I get a lot of referrals from my own vet. I'm like, keep your mouth shut. No, but they're lovely people, and so
don't give too much.
Yeah, but no, I think most of my more complicated clients have come from someone looking for a fear-free certified groomer, probably who was advised by their vet to find one.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I had someone else local I could
refer to
because
well, do you take on apprentices or anything for?
It'd be a little tricky with mobile. I don't know where I'd put them. You're like, all right, just stuff yourself in the glove box and keep it now.
Do you have a van or
I do have a van. I have a small van.
Yeah. Small van, yeah.
I love it.
That's one thing if you have a big
no, it's not
mobile unit, but if it's
sized for one generously sized woman, and that woman is me.
Oh, goodness. So, do you watch Chrissy? Do you do the podcast too? You watch?
I have seen it. I listened to it. Sorry. Sometimes she's also on your show.
Yes.
So
Yes.
How much time I have?
Our show. It's not just my show. It's all of their show too.
Right. Dara and friends.
Yeah, there we go. The educators, we like doing that. See, we like that, and yep, everybody's got their place. That is what's neat. So do you think with this coming up, let's see. So I'm guessing you got to be about halfway through the
3/4.
Through this 300 level? How is each level
Oh,
progression? How have you liked that progression and the build? And does that
I
go, what's next?
yeah, I think the build is good because at first, like the first level, you're like, oh yeah, I know this stuff. This is, I work with crazy dogs. That's
Mhm.
fine. And it has gotten more technical with
Yeah.
each level, and much more like sort of drilling down into a lot of behavioral aspects of that.
Yeah.
I
What's
mean,
been
I love that stuff. Like I'm a total geek. Like please, have me watch videos and read books about dogs. I'm ready. This is the thing. Um, yeah. And we try
how
to bring in sort of our own days too. Like this is what I was dealing with today. How do I do this better? Does anyone have you tried something I haven't tried?
yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, and you're in a very small class too. I think right
Yes.
now it's kind of because we've had some come jump out and they'll be back in, and
Well, some
it's
people were
tough.
part of a different program, I think.
Yeah,
So they were
yeah,
just with us for, yeah,
yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit.
I think Melissa's going to be on next week. She's doing the Master of Holistic Arts.
Excellent. She's awesome. That's
I,
great.
I see.
Yeah.
Because of the online, I get emails,
Yeah.
so I have an email relationship with her. It's different.
Yeah. Well, she's
Being the
great.
admin. But I get to talk to her next week, so it'll be neat to see because she's gone through so much. But what's been your favorite part of this, and the one the aha, I guess, the oh my god, I cannot, yes.
What has been um that's the thing I use the most. How's that? We'll start there.
Okay, that's good.
Is
Yep.
luckily Chrissy talks to dogs a lot, which is good because I am one of those groomers who talks to the dog all the time. I realize not everyone's like that. But so there is a moment in grooming when you're about to pick up a paw when I now out loud say, "Can I have your paw?" And I touch the paw and I look at the dog, and most of the time the dog picks their paw up for you so you can lift and you can just watch. I'm not saying you can only do things you have consent for, but just that like the dog's ready for it. And if that doesn't
Instead
work,
of the
I
of the
try a different paw. I've always been a gentle groomer, but you can sort of get dogs used to the idea that you are touching them with a purpose, and that like I can get to the point with the dog now where they're like, oh great. And even an old blind dog where they're like, all right, now I'm going to do just what I did last time. She picked up my paw. Now I'm going to do it
yeah.
with the other paw. And I mean, it's a little thing, but it's literally a thing I do 100 times a day. Talk to a dog, ask them if I can pick their paw up, tell them good dog.
Tell them
You
they're a
know,
good dog. Yeah. Do you find, are you very structured? So they get your routine. I
oh
think we
yeah,
were just talking about this the other night on the show about the routines that we get in and how sometimes we get so hyper focused on it that it we can't break it when we need to or
yeah,
when we should. So, but if you're conscious of it, this must be something that even for, like you said, the blind dog who's not seeing your actions but feeling you and getting that touch on the paw, they must relate to that. Now they're going here, now they're going
right.
to do this, I know what's coming.
Yeah, it cuts down on surprise.
Hmm.
Because with both, especially, we deal with dogs that are going blind or going deaf. And that's when they're sort of at the most upset about it because now things are sneaking up on them that never snuck up on them before, including you.
Yeah.
And we don't want that. But so, like, constantly having a hand on them and always sort of telegraphing what I'm going to do next by touching something,
Hmm.
that's certainly helpful. I do have in the perfect world a system and order I do things in because then I know I've done everything.
Yep, yep,
you
yeah,
know,
that's exactly,
like
yep.
I'm on autopilot. This is perfect dog.
Mm,
Do.
yep.
But with some of my dogs, they're older, they're confused. I barely have them restrained with anything. My table is attached to a wall in the van, so I have a very limited space they can go, and then there's me. So I'm not worried about them falling off the table.
Right, right.
But some of them, I mean, if they have high anxiety, I just work with what the dog has put in front of me. So I'm like, okay, we've got your left body done. All right, right body, left back paw. Oh, front right leg. Oh, tail. Oh, but like because I can't force them to do something. So I'm just because they'll get too worked up about it. As I use my hands.
Yeah, I do the
You
same
know
thing.
how it
I'm
is.
trying to sit on them so that I'm not like,
But yeah, those days you're just like, I'm just keeping a list in my head. And at the end, I'm like, I got to look at this dog. Did I forget anything really obvious? Like, what's the one part you wouldn't let me touch? Oh, it's your butt. Okay.
yeah.
Um,
And that's an important part to clean.
it is very important. I always
Very
think of
important.
Olga, cute face, clean butt. Excellent advice, which I always think of.
Well, it's the first thing they see, the last thing they see. So
Exactly. Yeah.
very important features. You can do whatever you want to the inside sometimes, but those two are very crucial for the grooming.
Truth.
Yep. So, all right. Well, we've got we have a full loaded for next group.
I know. It's so
Students.
awesome.
I think there's 6 in the class. So it's very exciting to see so many. And any of these lovely ladies coming up, any advice you'd give them? Anything you'd say? Stick to it or
Definitely stick to it. No, I mean, I do feel like this is incredibly valuable. And also, I'm a groomer. I work with complicated dogs. Most of those dogs are working with a trainer, or maybe not a veterinary behaviorist because those are very hard to get.
Yeah.
But a trainer working on behavior issues, and just to be able to communicate with the trainer and to have a better idea of what they're doing with the dog. So when I'm like, hey, there's stuff we need to work on so your dog's safe for grooming, I can write them something to give to their trainer that makes sense to the trainer and also is like a likely next step. Like, this is stuff I have to do. Can you help me? Can you, have them work
And
through these things?
have you had feedback from owners about trainers' responses to those?
It's one particular client who I have literally
Okay.
written notes, and she just says, we're on it, but
We're on it. Yeah.
Right. But so at least I know though that they're getting the information that I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Baby steps.
Yeah. Is it a younger or an older?
It's a pandemic standard poodle with pretty like I met him when he was a puppy. I mean, he's a big puppy, but he is just neurotic as the day is long, and I love him. But there's something wrong. He needs help.
You think just he's lacked in socializing? We have a lot of these too.
Yeah, but so I have a lot of them too.
Yeah.
Well, not a lot. I try not to take a ton of puppies, but I have a handful of dogs that are a little like unsocialized. This is a beautiful dog who there's several kids in the house. He goes to baseball games. They walk around all the time. Like they got neighbors with dogs. They've done some socializations. He's just terrified to be not at home, to walk on a leash, to go anywhere. He has to get carried into the vet, carried into the grooming van. That's not pandemic puppy. That's like, oh, buddy.
Yeah.
And I like
not
him.
To the extreme.
Yeah. You're just like, oh, there's something wrong. Like, you need some help.
Yeah.
And they're great people,
They're trying, so that's good.
They're doing all the things.
Yeah.
The last time I groomed him, I started him on the floor just to work on his head so he could just be kind of calm before I put him on the table. He put his head on my knee and I almost cried. I tell you, it was like, this is like a year of work to get to the point where the dog's like, okay.
Oh, yeah. Breakthrough moments. Those are the
little ones.
Yep. Yeah. And so now with him, you're following all this progression and keeping him on a good schedule and detailing all your notes and
yeah.
In case, gosh, do you think what would happen if they had to move and you gotta
I would worry. Yeah,
do
I would be
another
like, you're gonna need to
groomer.
find another mobile groomer. I'll go beg someone for you if you tell me where you're going.
Where you're going,
We'll
yeah,
find you
that's
somebody.
part of our job too. I think that's a big part of what we do is trying to find the next if we can, and working with other groomers to say, my dog's moving down this way, and can you help me
Well,
out here, and let's take care of this dog.
yeah, I love the idea of there being more groomers who are more, into this behavioral piece too, or like the fear-free piece,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know how people work. It's you don't know how anybody works, and a lot of groomers are wonderful, and there are other groomers who are just going to be a little bit more straightforward, focused, maybe a little rougher, and some of these dogs can't handle that.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to freak them out, and they're going to be impossible to groom for 6 months. So
Yeah.
I would love there to be an entire network of little whole pet academy groomer behavior specialists that I could be like, hey, you're in Western Mass, awesome. You're in Jersey, great.
Yeah, we're working on it. Well, Chrissy's working on it.
That's right.
Before too long. I mean,
Right.
they are. we're getting them. Oh my gosh! I think I'm trying to remember where we had some. South Carolina. We've got 2 or 3. It's
Wow.
good. So, but you guys are all in your private. You've got a private Facebook group that you can keep in contact with and work together. And I don't know how active it is. I know I'm in there, but I need to jump on again. I have so many. I'm here, there, and I'm like a ping pong
I'm
ball.
sure. Yeah.
Trying to keep up with where everybody is in their classes and on the floor students. And so, but yeah, well, thank you so much for taking time to come in and talk to us about it. And I know Chrissy was excited. I don't know if she was watching. Keep thinking today's Wednesday, but yesterday she was
It
at
better
work.
be Thursday. So
Today's Thursday. Yes,
yes.
Today's Thursday. We're almost there to the weekend. And
I can see it.
Yes, thank you so much for joining. And next week, I am with Melissa Russo, who is going to be our first graduate for the Master of Holistic Arts. As I love all of our programs, but that one, when I created that one, I was just like,
yeah.
Oh, it's so pretty. You got one that just goes, oh.
Yeah,
I could
it's
do
your
that
favorite.
one. I would
see
do
how
that.
it is. We're gonna be your favorite, though.
Oh,
Watch out.
everybody's my favorites. I love everybody. That's not the problem. But that particular one, when you can encompass, just like you said, that fear-free, and you take the first 2 levels of everything, but then you get everybody who's in there, and they're like, I want to do more of this one and more of that one. And then they just want to keep going with them all. So I don't want to overwhelm people because then you just keep going. I mean, once you start learning, some of us are just people that are like, that is Chrissy watching. So she says, hello.
Hi, Chrissy.
Yes, but I mean, it's good. We hear a lot of Chrissy gets a lot of recognition on her for her podcast and everything. So we're thrilled to have her in this class or this series of classes. But I am looking forward to printing that diploma for you.
Me too. I got a space
pretty soon. Yes. Well, and you'll have your 4 certificates as well. So you're going to get a nice little, yes. And maybe you can come up to the school because I don't think, from Portsmouth?
Oh, it's like 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah, you're like right around the corner. Hey, you guys could be doing them in person.
Let's not be crazy here.
Oh, okay. All right. Too much. Sorry. All right. Well, I know you have another meeting to go to, so thank you so much. And thanks for everybody who joined us. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great night.
Thanks, Dara.